Okay, this leak seems pretty legit, so let's talk about it. There's so much to go into here.
Block content.
What's happening, my block buddies, and welcome to a brand new episode of Blocked Content. My name is Kellum, and this is going to be your content for today. Well, it kind of felt like for all this time, there wouldn't really be another leak speak for a little while. It's been easy coasting with Nintendo Directs and all that kind of input, and we just thought we were going to get Joker, and that's going to be it for a while. But now, it seems like a pretty credible leak, or at least a pretty convincing leak, has jumped up online. And for those of you who don't want to get spoiled, take your chance now. This could be real. There is a lot of evidence that this is real. This also definitely could be faked because, as we know from the Grinch leak, everything is fakeable. So turn away now if you don't in any way intend to get spoiled or want to get spoiled with this. And if you're still here, well, let's talk about this. So this is a German leak, a leak from German kind of descent, which is pretty crazy to me. We can see here right now that the leaked characters here are Joker and the Mementos stage, Chrono and the Ende der Zeit stage, which is the end of time stage, then Cuphead plus Teufels Casino, so it's the casino stage. Then set 4 is Marine plus the UAC Einrichtung, so it's basically the center, the stage, basically the housing. It is like a literal translation, right? And then set 5 would be Jibanyan from, or if I pronounce that correctly, Jibanyan, from the Yokai Watch series. So the Waldbergschrein, which is, I don't know if I'm, pronouncing that all correctly. This supposedly is sort of like an inspect element. Someone has found all these buttons that belong to these characters. They look like, the Switch kind of hub right here. And the characters that are in this, they are all, in a way, third-party characters. They are all, they all kind of fit within the world that Nintendo is trying to build with Smash Brothers. I'm not too convinced about 2 of these points here, but I feel like they make sense also if you think about them. So let's go down the list, like Joker plus the Memento stage. Yeah, if a leaker wanted to fake leak this, then the Memento stage would of course make the most sense. This has been, in a couple of other leaks. This has been in, writing, mentions, all that kind of stuff. This one makes the most sense, so we're not going to dive that much into Joker. It's, of course, the first set, and having it numbered like this feels very Sakurai to me. Like if you get just number 3, then it would feel like you would miss out because there's probably 2 before that you didn't get. Now, the second one is Chrono plus the Ende der Zeit, the end of time stage. And Chrono is, of course, the main character of Chrono Trigger. And that series has been dead for a long time. It's also very weird that they, in this leak, didn't go for anything at all from the Dragon Quest franchise from Square Enix, which is, very, very popular now and actually a little bit similar in some respects, especially in character design, of course. And Chrono has always been a character that people really wanted to have in Super Smash Bros. Just because he had a start on the Super Nintendo. It was this great RPG. It was the best RPG on the system, and it was just full of life, full of character, full of big drama moments and stuff like that, and just great gameplay. As, the storytelling progressed, it just became such an iconic game, and Chrono as the main character of that actually is really awesome. And it's like a Goku kind of character with a sword, so we could see the people that really want Erdrick would get something very similar to that. So it's almost like Super Saiyan God mode Goku, in the sense that it's just, a Goku type face with, red hair. I'm not too sure about this one. It feels like it makes sense in a lot of ways, but in other ways, the character hasn't been introduced for a very long time now, even though it's like a fan favorite. Maybe possible, but I would say the possibility for me is now 50-50, maybe leaning against 60-50, just because I think that Square would want to kind of play ball with a character like this, just because they feel like Smash Bros. Is a big celebration of Nintendo history, and Chrono Trigger was this big moment in their history with Nintendo. So to me, it does make sense. But I think that if we're going to go Square Enix characters, there are a lot of other characters that could have fit this bill. And we're not just talking about characters like Sora, but I also feel like Final Fantasy has a lot of representation that we still could have. A Sephiroth wouldn't feel out of place at all in Smash Brothers now, I feel. So there's a lot of choices to be made there. So The other character below is set 3, Cuphead. And Cuphead, yes, it does come out of nowhere. However, I feel like if they are doing this partnership with Xbox, if they're doing this partnership with all these like third-party weird characters, then Cuphead is one that makes sense to me in the sense that it is family-friendly for the biggest part, that the character has appeal, that the character kind of fits in with the Smash Brothers characters in terms of, height and tone. And it'll also be another 2D kind of character, so it will fit in with Mr. Game & Watch. I don't expect that if they have Cuphead in the game, that it will be, kind of like super, like the flat kind of 3D-ized version of like a character Shovel Knight or something like that. I think they'll do something very original with this character and have the artist that created the art for Cuphead, the original game, do it in the style for Super Smash Bros. With new moves and stuff like that. I could definitely see that happening. I could see Xbox actually making the choice, or like the company that's behind Cuphead making the choice of saying, okay, what about we just do this? What about we just do this character instead of some, Master Chief kind of character or Steve from Minecraft? This is just that perfect middle ground that I think Joker also kind of aims for. It's not the biggest character in the world, but it is third party, and it is something that will make a lot of passionate fans happy. A lot of people didn't know Joker, but I feel like a lot more people kind of know Cuphead because it's such an iconic little game throughout these years, because it was just so different, and it's not a niche audience. I feel like everybody could kind of pick up Cuphead and play it, and I don't really feel that same vibe with Persona. A lot of people within the Smash community didn't know who Joker at all was. I feel like Cuphead's gonna hit that niche a little bit harder. So I'm up for this character, seeing him defeat characters with just the blast of his finger and stuff like that. There's so much other characters that could bring in the moveset, different enemies to kind of take over. There's so much possibility there. And of course the color variations could kind of look like a Mugman and stuff like that. So I feel like this is a choice that makes sense on a few levels, more than I think Chrono does. But they're still pretty weird, right? Cuphead and Chrono, who would have thought of that? So the fourth one is Marine, which is of course referring to the Doomslayer from Doom. Now, we've been talking about Doomslayer a little bit on the channel because we feel like it isn't really all that possible to have Doomslayer in Smash Brothers. There are a certain amount of reasons that it could be possible, most notably because it's going to be this really weird mashup between realistic and very violent in Smash Brothers, and Snake already does it really well. But there's also going to be people that say it's going to be a little bit too... either you're going to have to hold Doomslayer back, or Marine as he's here called, you got to hold him back in terms of violence and moves, or you got to make Smash Brothers a little bit more violent than they're used to, which I don't think they'll ever do. So to me, this is, I'm not that into the idea of this character. Now, I love the character, I love the games. I think the games are brutal, and they should be. But in other terms, I really feel like it doesn't really belong in Smash Brothers. If we have an armored character that's going to have like a third-party deal to him, I feel like Master Chief is a lot better bet because it has a big history in the video game community. It was like this big first-person shooter revival. Now, of course, Doom, of course, was exactly this too. But I feel like Master Chief could play ball a little bit better with characters like Snake, and even kind of fit right in with Mario. Now, I wouldn't say a character like Marine or Doomslayer fits in well with a Mario cast, or even Pokemon for that matter. Master Chief for me kind of does that a little bit more, so I'm iffy about this one. But this last one, Jibanyan, or a character from the Yokai Watch games. Now, I have seen a lot of the Yokai Watch stuff, but it's not really my generation. Like, we grew up with Pokemon, Digimon, maybe other stuff like Power Rangers too. But no, the Yokai Watch isn't my generation, isn't really for me, but it does look great. In some respects, it actually looks a lot better. It evolves a lot better than Pokemon does, which is awesome, and I just wish the best for the franchise. It'd be weird to have this character pitted against Pikachu. It'll be very rivalry. So I'm very curious to see what they do in that respect, because I don't think the game deserves this big, like, kind of clash between two big personalities that's gonna, negatively influence the game. I think that it is a better bet than Digimon. A lot of people really want Agumon in the game, including myself, but I feel like the character Agumon, and especially like Digimon as a franchise, doesn't really stack up against franchises like, Mario, Zelda, Donkey Kong, but even franchises like Persona. It just isn't all that big enough at this moment. And of course, they're having a new series, 2020, I think, so there could definitely be an uprise. But yeah, Jibanyan kind of makes sense in the sense that it is very much Nintendo property, that they play ball, that they probably would love to have the character in there, and that they're, Reggie even made this great video back when he was still president of Nintendo. It made a really great video about Yokai Watch. So Nintendo really loves that franchise. So I could definitely see this happening in some form or another. So I really want to know, do you guys think that this leak is real? I mean, it's Joker, Chrono, Cuphead, Marine, and Jibanyan. I don't know. Honestly, because I can't really refute the image of the leak, right? This is just like, this could be a graphic design that someone slapped on their Samsung TV and that's it. However, the characters are interesting and I wanted to talk about them because they could actually make sense. So I'm really excited what you guys think. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. I'll read through all of them. And remember, if you're not yet a member of the Block Content family yet, don't worry, click the subscribe button. All the news and fun that you care about will be delivered daily to you. So including new Snake Codex, which will be rolling out very soon. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you around the corner where there's always more leak speak and more blocked content. See ya.